They had their sons with them in their business. They groom them to take over the business. They teach them to work for their dad and essentially become their dad. That's how they hold on to power. That's how they become extremely powerful, because it's very centralized. Whereas the commoner, he is very much of the order of, you can be anyone you want. Like, your dad might be working as a mechanic, but yeah, you're just going to go now and you're going to do a completely opposite field. Whereas your dad could have refined himself through you multiple times and then eventually got to like the best version of that specific trade or the best version of that specific person. That's the way that the elites do it. That's the way that it's meant to be done. But they tell you, to be a free spirit. And then when you're left to your own devices, you're not really a professional. You're starting from zero again and again. The elites, they had their sons with them in their business. They groom them to not really a professional. You're starting devices, you're not really a professional.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders which rule great millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abba. Alright, so I saw this little video. Alright, and then right at the end they put Jake, alright, a so-called Negro, right, looking confused. Right, they show the Caucasians, the rich, the elite of the so-called white man's race. All right, and they actually show Jake at the end looking confused because our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. The so-called American Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. And we've been scattered throughout the world in slavery, and this is why our people are confused. All right? They've been taught lies. All right? And one of the lies they were taught was religion. All right? They taught you that who you were to think of God as is to be a so-called white man. They gave you Jesus Christ, a so-called white man. All right? And then they told you were going to burn in a lake forever, right? Burn in a pit of fire forever if you disobeyed the so-called white man. All right. Then the so-called white man, he institutionalized you from birth, medicated you, right? And then he controls you through his MK Ultras programs. All right. So he fucked you up. He fucked the world up. All right. And this is why what's happening in 2022 is the year the Lord's turning it up, because it's the end of the so-called white man's reign. All right? The so-called white race is the Edomites in the Bible. They're the wicked which the Lord hates. All right? And this is why he destroyed so-called American Negro homes, Latino homes, Native American Indian homes. He took the men out of the house or destroyed the men, made them effeminate and weak and broke, and then he put the woman over the men. Nowadays, the women think they're stronger or better or even risking. Like today, I heard a video. Let me show you.
I really don't like men that are good for me, but it's deliberately deciding to have a child as a single parent.
What would you
That is
rather?
why I'd rather you shut your legs and don't have no children.
Auntie.
If you can't be in a healthy relationship with a man and woman together, getting on well, to raise a child together, and you're deliberately going out there and choosing to have a child as a single parent, shut your legs.
Rather have a child with two parents in separate homes than to have them under one home in a toxic situation.
You're picking to be a single parent without even trying.
No, I don't have the mental capacity to have to trust somebody who I don't know the ins and outs of.
See? So the woman has been raised up in a state of power where she thinks she controls everything. And if she can't control it, she don't want to be involved in it. And before this, they used to actually cleave to the men because their survival actually depended on them having a man that could take care of them. But because of the so-called white man and his wicked-ass society with his false doctrines, all right, he taught the Israelite woman, the so-called black woman, the so-called Hispanic woman, the so-called Native American Indian woman, and this false doctrine that he pushes has covered the whole world. All right, that's why China was at once a forbidden city, but now you got Chinese girls slapping their two little butt cheeks on TikTok. Because the so-called white man has corrupted the whole world. And he deceived the woman. Just like he was in the Garden of Eden, right? He was deceiving Eve as the serpent. That treacherous person it's talking about is the so-called white man today. Back then he had color. He lost the color of his skin because he killed his brother Abel. Cain did. Cain died, right? The people that were born to Cain, the Canaanites, not the Canaanites that were in the land of Ham, the Hamites, but the Cainites, which were the descendants of Cain, died in the flood. But they were brought back through Esau. Esau is the reincarnation of Cain, and he's the twin brother of Jacob. And Jacob was Abel being brought back. And what did Esau do? He tried to kill his brother. His whole existence has been about destroying his brother, destroying his families. All right, because he is not our brother. The Lord has separated us in the womb. All right, that's why they were fighting even in the womb, trying to kill each other. All right, because the Israelites and the Edomites are enemies. All right, and the so-called white man has deceived the world. He even got the Israelites to pray to white Jesus. Why? To deceive you so he could destroy you because you lack knowledge. Just like this woman. This woman is going to be destroyed because she lacks knowledge. She thinks she's submitting by agreeing to a man. All right? Which she is, but she thinks of it in a negative way. Why does she think of it in a negative way? Because of the wicked education systems in this world today. All right? Let me get the scripture for you. It says in Isaiah 3 and verse 11, woe unto the wicked. The wicked is the so-called white race. Woe means destruction. It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. So these wicked ass Jake that you see, these gun-toting little nigglets and wetbacks and Uncle Tomahawks, all right, that are killing their own brother out there in the streets over drug, money, and pussy, all right? These are the creation of the so-called white race, all right? So the so-called white man, he has how to pay because he has dealt treacherously with the Israelites, all right? It says, as for my people, dealing with the Israelites, children are their oppressors because Esau is the lowest level, all right, of existence. And women rule over them. So he put the woman over the man. That's why, a woman makes more money than a man in this society. A woman has more rights in this society than a man. A man has no rights. We have no rights in child support court. You have no rights in a self-defense if it was against a woman. All right, but a woman has all the rights because the so-called white race are the wicked, which they put the woman over the man, but you destroy the reality, the fabric of reality through your confusion because women need men to survive, all right, even to be sane, all right? So when they bring these women into dick carousels, right, they go from man to man, right, they become destroyed because every time a man has sex with them, that woman's body, all the way up into her brain, changes. All right? There's a change that actually happens to her body. And that's why these women are stuck with hysterectomies because their body, it literally breaks down from all the conversion that happens because of the different partners. All right? Now, the woman, the reason why she's saying she wants to control man is because she don't want her man to be having other women. When naturally, a man is to have multiple women. All right. There was even a study Esau did in the colleges, and they said that a man with one wife dies sooner than a man with two wives. All right. So it's a fact. All right. We have knowledge. We know this is the way the Lord created it, and we understand why. Okay. When he did it, he said everything. When he created everything in the beginning, he said it is good. But now you got the wicked, and they are in power, and that's why the world is mourning, especially the Israelite. the so-called American Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. All right? It says, O my people, they which led thee caused thee to err. So they led our people into stupidity. They led our people into destruction. In fact, they're getting ready to slaughter our people. It says, they which led thee caused thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And that's why you try to tell our people the truth and they get offended. They want to fight you. All right, they don't want to be who they are because the so-called white man has destroyed our people. All right, and this is one of those.
The mental capacity
To have a
in
child.
general.
I would rather feel pain where I can actually deal with it better than to have to feel pain from someone else whose actions I cannot
Sounds like
control.
The last thing she said was from somebody she can't control.
Yeah,
that is your
that's-
problem.
yeah.
I would rather be in a situation where I can control myself and not have to be.
Which this is in the scriptures. This is what would happen between the woman and her man. All right, in Genesis 3, it says in verse 11, and he said, who told thee thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? So the Lord told Adam, which Eve shouldn't have talked to that other man, the so-called white man. All right, just like this woman. She's getting her philosophies from college, right? From religion, all right? From the so-called white man. That's where she's getting her ability to actually understand reality and process it and act, right? Her behavior, her conduct is because of the so-called white race. That's why you have a bunch of little bastards running the streets, gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps, hoes, right? You got these women in these abortion clinics. They go to the abortion clinics more than they wash their ass. You see? So the Lord has to destroy 2/3 of our people because they're completely out of control. All right? They're doing completely against what the Lord said. All right? The nakedness represents shame. All right? It doesn't mean Adam and Eve was running around the garden naked. All right? It means shame. So why do you have shame on you? The only reason why you would have shame is when somebody, you learn you did wrong. So how did you learn you did wrong? What did you do? It says, hast thou eaten of the tree, which that tree represents Esau, the so-called white race, whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? You're not supposed to. Don't even ask the heathen. Don't even talk to the fucking so-called white man. The women ain't even supposed to be going to no other man. You know how you had Kevin Samuels and women would call and ask him what they should do in a relationship or with their man? That's completely out of order. The woman is supposed to be in full subjection to her man. And the man she's married to is supposed to take her virginity. And she's only supposed to have one man. And it's supposed to be the father that finds her that man. You see? But now you got girls losing their virginity at 13, 14 when they're supposed to actually be married. That's why their body starts having periods, is that the Lord is showing they're ready for marriage. They could bear children. But in this wicked ass society, they call them children and they fucking allow them to have all kinds of, miscellaneous sex in high school, growing up to college, where they get turned out. They go to the militaries, they go to these colleges and just get rammed through. And then you're supposed to fucking bend backwards for them, right? You're supposed to fall in love and, have children with these women, right? That Esau has created, these gremlins that Esau have created. All right? That's why the Lord told us not to eat of this tree. Do not fuck with Esau, man. Now, if you have a concubine that you pop that's an Edomite, that's fine. As a man having an Edomite concubine, that's fine. But the women are not to be going to any man except her husband and asking what is right and what is wrong. All right? And the man is not, an Israelite man is not supposed to go to an Edomite man and ask what is right and what is wrong. All right? The Lord has the scriptures. He's given us his word. And we're being brought back into remembrance through the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kodash, in the name of Yahushai. It says, and the man, which was Adam, said, the woman whom thou gavest to me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Right? So this is the woman saying, oh, we should, guess what? I heard it was like this. We should try this. We should do this. This sounds great. Right? You're not supposed to ask your woman for advice. You're not supposed to go to your woman for advice. A man is not to get advice from a woman. It says that in... Alright, because the man is the head. The head tells the body what to do. 1 Timothy chapter 2. It says... in verse 10, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So if a woman is godly, these are her good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Subjection means in marriage. So she is to learn in silence from her husband in marriage. Marriage is sex. But I suffer not a woman to teach. So a woman is not to teach a man nothing, nor to usurp authority over the man. And that's what this woman's trying to do. What she said,
that is your problem.
Yeah. I would rather be in a situation where I can
Sounds like you.
She's the last thing she said was from somebody she can't control.
Yeah.
she can't control it, so she don't want to deal with the man because she don't want to be controlled. She don't want to be in the subjection. It says, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence, pretty much waiting for the man's command. Because it's not about you, it's not about being a partner, it's not about helping a woman build her dreams. Really, a woman is supposed to sacrifice her life and give her life to her husband. And her husband is to guide her in the right way, but to build up his name, build up his enterprise, build up his dreams. All right? And she would be blessed in it, just like Noah, right? The Lord was dealing with Noah. He built the ark. Guess what? He saved his wife because she was in subjection to her husband. All right? So the women that are submitting and in subjection to their husband, those are considered a virtuous woman, especially a woman that preserves herself for her husband. Okay? It says, and you got to remember, these women I'm talking about are Israelite women. The heathen women have no hope of salvation. All right? And like I said, if you're a man, an Israelite man, we could have these women as concubine. All right? Which you could even make a child with a concubine. But you're not supposed to, pretty much fall head over heels for any woman. You're supposed to be in a mind where you love the Sophia, the Holy Spirit. All right? That's your main woman. All right? This is the comforter. But you're supposed to lead your woman or women into righteousness. All right? Just like they're supposed to lead the children into what is right and what is wrong. Okay? It says, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. So there's a position. The honor was given to the man, not the woman. All right? That's why in all the males of all nature,